Hey everybody, John Knepper here. Have you ever been one of those people that give and give and give and you don't seem to get anything back? It's kind of frustrating, isn't it? Like you give and give and give. I'm going to talk a little bit today about why that might be happening and how you can be open to receiving some things when people are actually trying to give to you. I am going to be talking perhaps this is one of the love languages, where the acts of service are ways that people give. They give through doing things for other people. But there's more to it than that. There really is more to it than that. I have a friend who is totally acts of service. He gives and he does and he helps out. And he's like, oh, I'm not busy. I can help out. Oh, you're moving? I'll be there. Oh, you need somebody to do this for you? I can do that. And he does that all the time. He doesn't often receive back, and I hope that at some point he can hear this, because I think it's really important there's another piece about giving that opens us up to receiving more. I'm going to be talking about a book today called The Go-Giver. It's a little story about a powerful business idea. I just read it about 2 weeks ago, and I love the idea of the book. I was very excited, I was very inspired, and I want to just talk a little bit about some of the principles of the book, but I want to spend some time talking about the fifth principle. Now, this book is written by Bob Burg and John David Mann. It's called The Go-Giver, and it was really easy to read, and like I said, it was very, very inspiring. I felt really inspired by it. I wanted to click in and input what I had just learned. So, there are 5 laws of stratospheric success in this book. The first one is your true worth. Now, this is the law of value. And he talks about your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. So if I give you $100 in value and only charge $10 back, I'm giving a lot more to you in value than I get back in payment. $1,000, $100, whatever it is, I want to give you more value than what I get in payment. That's the law of value. That's how my true worth is determined. There's something called the law of compensation. Your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. So if I'm serving 10 people, my income, my business, my growth, my profitability, whatever we're talking about, is going to change by the more people I serve. If I start serving 50 people, my income is going to go up. If I start somehow and I can serve 500 people or 1,000 people, or I just talked with a friend and colleague of mine in the Speakers Association who says he served about 1 million people. Let's guess what his income is. That's the law of compensation. The law of influence is another one in the book. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. Think about them first. That's the giver. Think about what you could do for them. Think about what would help them, what would support them, what would be something that would give them the little nudge, the little push, the little extra that they need to perhaps create success or to be happy. That's your influence, determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. This one is a great one. The law of authenticity. The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. The most valuable gift I have to offer is me. The most valuable gift we have is ourselves, our true selves. Not giving ourselves away in some false way or some way that just isn't really authentic. The greatest gift is when we can be ourselves and give to others from that place of being who we are. Now, this is the one I wanted to talk about. The law of receptivity. The law of receptivity. The key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. So I watch people. I watch my friend who gives and he gives and he gives, but he doesn't receive very well. Like he thinks, I'm a nice guy, I'm just going to give. But think about how his world would change if he would allow some of that giving to be returned to him, either by the person he gave it to in the first place or by somebody else, because that law is going to open you up all the way around if you are open to receiving. Like if you're a business person, if you say you're a consultant and you only feel like you're able to receive $100 for your services, That's what you're going to get. Think about if you were open to $1,000 for your services or $10,000 for your services. I was looking on a speaker site the other day. There were people that were charging $50,000 to $75,000 for their services because they understand the law of receptivity. They understand that in order to receive more, they give more, but they have to be willing to receive. They have to be able to receive. Think about that in your life. Are you a giver? I'm guessing you are. I'm guessing you're a giver. Are you open to receiving in return? How often have you said, oh, that's okay, don't bother. It was nothing. I was happy to do it. Okay, that might be good once, twice, 10 times. You're a nice person. But what if you open yourself up to receiving more? What would happen then? What would happen if you said, I'm giving, and I'm open to the possibility that I'm also going to receive? That's not necessarily why we give. We give because it makes us feel good. We give because it's important to who we are. We give because it might be our love language. We give because it's acts of service and because we know that we're being there for people. We're helping people. We're supporting people. So we don't give in order to get. I don't give in order to get. I'm sure many of you don't give solely to get something in return. Because if you do, there's a great book called The Go-Giver that we're talking about that might change your mind about that. But if you give, and there's also this openness in your heart, there's also this openness in who you are being that says, I'm willing, I'm able, I'm open to receive. I think you might be surprised. I think you might be surprised at what comes back to you. Because then you're going to go back to these other laws here. You're going to go back to the law of authenticity and keep giving more of yourself. You're going to go back to the law of influence, where that's determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. Whoop, what did I do? Yep, there we go. Go back to, I did it again. I'm sorry, technology problems. Go back to the law of compensation. It's determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. I did it again, boy. Tune in later because this will be a better one. So the other one is just the law of value. Your true worth is determined by how much more you give than what you take in payment. So really, how open are you to receive? Look at yourself. Check in. Am I open to receive, or am I playing the nice guy? Am I playing the nice person going, no, that's okay? When I first started dating my sweetheart, I was paying for this. I was paying for that. I would say, no, that's okay. You don't need to pay for anything. Finally, you know what she told me? She said, you need to let me give so that we're a partnership here. If it's just you giving all the time, you're not allowing me to give to you. I wasn't open to receive at that point. I thought I needed to play it differently. I thought I needed to play that whole nice guy thing. I don't want you to think of me as someone who's going to take your money. We have to be open to receive. That's what the whole message is. So the name of the book, again, is called The Go-Giver. It's by Bob Burg, John David Mann. I highly recommend you read it, and you're going to find some other things that are really cool about that book. There's actually a Go-Giver Academy, I believe it's called. I'm going to look into it. I would encourage you to look at it as well. I will be back here with more videos. I'm going to be talking about the Go-Giver in a little bit more depth. I'm also going to be talking about some other things related to what I like to speak about. I like to speak about people communicating with other people. I like to speak about people touching and connecting and trusting other people, touching people's lives. That's what I like to speak about. So I'm going to be talking about those things here. I'm going to be talking about negative self-talk and how we turn that into positive self-encouragement. I'm doing this. This is video number 3, and I'm doing this as part of a 77-day video challenge. That's a lot of videos. But by the time I'm done, and maybe if you tune in, be glad to have you around, this might look a lot different. Like I might not keep bumping me off the screen so many times. Anyway, I'm John Knepper. Thank you so much for watching.